Thank you. It's really nice, actually, to we've got a school in Hertfordshire, Simon Ball's school, who've sent some people along today. They're over there, and they've developed a similar model, and we'll be looking at ways in which we can work. We've had Vic Goddard's school, Passmore's, come in, and we've done some training with their pedagogy leaders as well. So it's an aspect of work that we're really, really proud of. And if you want to know more, get in touch or go look at the Cannon's blog side, Cannon's Broadside. Okay, the next pitch, the penultimate pitch, is from Andy Knill about building a culture of critique linked to solo.
If you can get the iPad to work.
That's not my job, that's yours.
No. Where's Helen? You did it so badly. I'm not taking the microphone till my iPad works, so if it's anything like Pedigree, we never work. Come on. Perfect. Hi. Right. Roll up. Does anybody here at the Bet teach meet in January? 1, 2, right. You may know me as Raffle Guy. I'm not going to, Kev said I'm not allowed to be that outlandish. I've also got a colleague in the room who's never seen me like that, so I'm not going to. Okay. This is about combining two things that will be mentioned this evening at different points. A culture of critique and solo, all at the same time, and it's what I've been working on for 2.5 weeks. Okay, who am I? I'm Andy Knill. I'm a geographer. Some of you know me from my blog, Mishmash Learning, which is about all sorts of things from my mental health to how I build things in Lego, to why I go canoeing, to using solo in the classroom. I was involved in Teach Meet Essex last year, and we sort of did very well, and now Tom's gone off to do something else. I led a solo global chat earlier this year where we had 40 teachers from England, Australia and New Zealand on a Saturday morning talking about solo and how we used it. And we need to do some more. So Joe, after October, you're on the list. I teach geography, I do ICT, I run digital leaders, and I come from Romford, and luckily one of my colleagues lives locally, so he drove me here. There we are, that's who I am. Why solo, why burger? I discovered solo last, 2012 online, liked what I saw because it gave me a structure for my pupils who found working out how to progress through levels very difficult. So I started experimenting in my classroom. First few lessons I learned about things like Nicki Minaj, who apparently is a singer with pink hair. I didn't know this. It's one of those things where I learned, like Joe said, learned something you've never learned about before. And I've been using solo in my classroom ever since. I started blogging about it last November. And I now get questions from all around the world because supposedly I'm an expert at it, which means I use it. Then I went to Pedigree London with Elaine and I heard David Fawcett talking about burger. And I kept thinking, I must read this book, I must read this book. Well, I read it this summer. And 3 weeks ago, I wrote a proposal for the geography department. And 2.5 weeks ago, we started it. And now we're combining the two things. So that's my background. I've been doing the job 25 years. Twitter has been my sort of lifesaver because I've now got to network with lots of people. So why solo? I like it because my children self-evaluate. They look at their own learning and they have a sense of where they are and where they need to go. And it's built up really good learning conversations in my classroom. The structure, they can see what they need to do next. They like the little symbols. They're nice and easy to draw on their books. We don't always use the words because the words get confusing, but the symbols are fantastic because it's easy to see that 3 bars means more than 1 bar. And if you've not used solo, we can come and learn about that later. Critique. I want my students to self-assess. I want them to peer assess. I want them to coach each other. I want them to be confident that they can tell other pupils how to improve their work. And we've gone in 2 weeks from a good smiley face to that's a nice leaflet, but have you thought about this information? And already I'm seeing differences in 2 homeworks. I want them to build skills that they can use with other pupils, but they can then apply to their own work. And some of our pupils aren't very confident at that. I want them to become more independent. I don't believe in a spoon-feeding school. I like to get children to think. I'd like to aim for perfection. I don't aim for perfection. I like to do things well. Perfection would be lovely, but like Daniel, we'd like to get there, but we do as well as we can. Right, this is my marking this morning. Literally, about 11 o'clock this morning, I was marking this book. And I thought, oh, I'm going to use that. So this is Bissell, who I last taught 2 years ago in year 7. And if you give her a project to do for homework, she'll go away and she'll do it 24/7 for a whole week, and she won't do anybody else's homework, and then everybody comes and moans. On the left is her first draft, where she planned a leaflet that is about tourism, about somewhere she'd like to go. And she got some critique from me and some from her peers. And she had an idea what she was going to do, but I didn't know what it was going to look like. This week, I find a leaflet. It's all handwritten. There are some gaps where it says picture. So this week, she's gone much further down the stage. She's getting feedback again tomorrow from her peers. Next week, I'm expecting, knowing her, that it will come back much better. But that's happening across the board. Children may not do much homework, produce a very small the first week. Then they had the peer pressure that, where's your work? How can I give you critique if you haven't got your work? So they're starting to produce it. So it's new. Literally, it's an in-house project. It is linked to action research. I suppose, what's this word? Rigor, I don't know. I've used action research so long ago, I don't know. What am I looking for? I'm out in Romford. I'm not in Harrow, but I am online. And I've got cards and things, and apparently I'm on Twitter occasionally. Aren't I, Kev? Yeah. Never off it. No, that's probably true. I want to look outside my own department, my own school. I'm very interested in doing stuff across different subjects, different sort of ages, using educational reading. I keep going on about solo and things in my school, and Jane, my colleague, will confirm that it's not always an easy sort of path to go, but I keep plugging away, and gradually the ideas are getting through. I want the students to be more independent because it's there for our pupils to do better and have better aspirations. And lastly, as a teacher, I'm developing more skills. Now, obviously, I'm the 8th pitch. I've already said I want to go to 3 other tables, but I will be in the corner afterwards to talk to anybody who's interested. Thank you.